It's recording.
All right. Hello and welcome everybody to episode 8 of the Almost Nerds podcast. It is Kareem, Ben Lewis, and we have a special guest with us, Mr. Gavin Bloom.
Good
Say
evening.
hello. All
Good
right.
evening around the world. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank
You're
you
welcome.
for being on. So we covered we last time we decided we were gonna watch Thor, and I kind of jotted down some thoughts. Gavin, hey, you big Marvel guy? Kind of what's your background?
I'm a big Marvel guy.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see in the background.
Oh shit!
It's
I
my
do see it.
My mini bobblehead Thor.
Yeah,
right there.
Absolutely.
And I happen to be wearing a shirt that says "Training to Lift Mjolnir."
Nice.
So
damn, that answers
almost
one question.
It's almost like when I bought this shirt, I knew that I would be appearing on this particular episode.
Absolutely.
2 years ago.
You didn't buy it for this episode, right? Because there's no money to reimburse you.
No.
But we do have several listeners. So if there's any sponsors out there that want to reach 5 to 7 people, this is hop in on this shit.
Wow, man, that's more people than I've talked to all weekend. So that is fantastic.
Nice. I'm going to grow your audience.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The African American in me, I just wrapped up watching the movie right before I signed on. As a matter of fact, there's about 10 minutes left in the movie that I forgot about at the end that I haven't finished watching. So I'm winging that last 10 minutes, but I got most of it. So I got notes for the first hour and some change.
But how many times have you seen that movie, though? Realistically,
only twice, because I didn't like Thor.
Oh shit! Okay.
Because I thought Thor was the most boring out of all the movies. But watching it again now, I'm like, actually, you know what? I didn't give it the chance that it deserved, and it's actually a pretty good movie.
Okay. So. That was my thoughts on it. I was because so many people had said this was my first time watching it, but so many people had said to me, the first Thor, it's kind of, it's a little bit slow, maybe melodramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, so I had low expectations going into it, and I loved it. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad to hear that, Kareem, because I listened to your episode 7 with Jaws just to do some, just to prepare for this show. And
sure.
And I was surprised to hear that a friend's like, yeah, it's not very good. And then I started to think, never ask nerds if they like something, and never take their word for it if they say no. If they say yes, there's something there.
Okay.
Because I think nerds are pretty cynical. But if they say no, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Always see it for yourself.
Okay. All right. And I'm glad I did.
I'll take that, but except for and we've talked about this before, the Batman versus Superman movie was absolutely awful. And you can just take people's words for it. It was not a good movie. And I know our other friend Tony said to watch the extended cut, but I don't know how another 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the movie makes that movie any better than the first time around.
Yeah. Have you not seen that? The extended?
No, I haven't. It's one of those things that's like, I don't know, like a couple scenes here and there is not going to make this movie much better. Like, it's going to need 4 hours like the Zack Snyder Justice League in order for it to be any better for me than the first time around. But hopefully we'll cover it soon, and I'll give it a chance, and I'll watch that version.
Yeah, it could have been it's a DC. Everybody, like I said, the nerds, they tend to not love DC movies. DC TV shows, I hear, is a different story. DC does, good enough TV shows, but I hear that the movies are not. I guess it's tough to go up against Marvel in anything, but DC kind of yeah. But I heard Aquaman was all right. We can get there eventually. Yeah. And what do you think of the DC Marvel rivalry, Gavin?
Well, right now, Ben and my mutual friend Tony is probably throwing furniture. Just hearing this conversation, he is probably the most anti-Marvel person I've ever met.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
And maybe that's a little unfair to Tony because it makes him sound like a bad person. And he is a bad person. But I would say that I would say that it's more that he's pro DC than anti-Marvel. That's fair enough, right?
Yeah.
I recently saw some of the DC movies during lockdown,
Sure.
and actually, the Zack Snyder cut. I haven't seen the original one. I only saw the Zack Snyder cut, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that movie. I watched Man of Steel again for the second time, and it was a lot better than I remember it. And I've come to the conclusion, like, I love Marvel and I love DC too. They're just different.
Yeah.
Just different, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when you watch things in lockdown too, you kind of have a different, you're watching it, I don't know, maybe with a different mentality or mindset, you know, like it's, I don't know. I watched I think my favorite superhero movie that I watched during lockdown was the Tiger King. And
Man,
that dude was pretty
wreck
awesome.
of a show. Man, I like it's one of those things like you can't make this up. But like, how lucky was this documentary guy just to happen to fall upon this dude, and just say, "Hey, we're here. Let's just keep going with this. Let's see where it's going to go."
Right, and then they're planning like months in advance. When are we going to release a date? Oh, let's just fucking release it like it did. And then the world ended, and everybody's just sitting at home in front of their Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah. And I hear Nick Cage is going to play him in a movie. Isn't that right?
I heard rumor about that. That should be interesting to watch Nick Cage and like all of his like over dramatic acting, especially the part where it's like, "This is going to ruin me financially." Like just so much more than what needs to be there.
Yo, that's one of those things where it's like the reality of it was so much more bizarre than anything anyone could write or make up. I just don't know how a movie's going to do that any more justice than the documentary did.
Yeah,
I don't.
Unless it's like you go to see it ironically, like what was that movie, the Room?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Where it's just hailed as one of the worst movies of all time, and it's, you know, but it's a cult classic kind of thing.
Terrible movie.
Sure.
Like,
well,
you know,
what was The Room? I missed that totally. What was
they
that?
made a James Franco and Seth Rogen made a movie about making the movie, but it's got a guy named Tommy Wiseau in it. He like funded this whole thing to make his own movie, and like he's like the main star in it, but he has got to be the worst actor on the face of the planet. But somehow people got a hold of it, and people loved how terrible the movie was. Like it's just a terrible movie.
Okay, all right.
And I think it was made with the intention that it's not supposed to be funny.
It's not supposed to be a funny movie at all.
God, that's what makes it so good that it wasn't. Yeah, okay. I got to see this now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
And like, I can find a YouTube thing that kind of sums it up. It's pretty good, but like, there's just random parts of the movie that just make no sense. But then the main character, his co-star, his name is Mark, and like every time he's like, "Oh, hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. Hi, Mark." Like just randomly all the time.
And that's tough too, because like they're good actors. That to throw yourself, that must have been his first movie acting, I guess, or just his first big movie acting, maybe.
His only movie. I don't think so. I don't think that this guy Tommy Wiseau has done anything since besides. I don't even know if he was actually in the remake of talking about making the movie. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, partly because he's embarrassed as shit after it got released. But yeah, you can't put yourself up against James Franco and then think you're gonna have a good first movie as the main character.
You have to see it. It's pretty good.
We can definitely do a bad when we we'll do a bad movie, then we'll, with intention. This is a shit movie, we're gonna watch it.
I could see that fitting into your guys' repertoire.
Yeah,
as an episode to come. That would be something you guys can do.
I'll write that one down.
Yep. The Room, and then Monster'd, which is a real movie. I would go into Blockbuster and I would always pass it, and it was called Monster'd, Turd, and I would read the back of it, and it was Monster'd. It was like about a guy who worked at a sewer plant and fell into the poop and became a monster.
You're
and
a
I would
liar.
always go, no, it is. And I was like, I'm going to see that movie one day. And then now Blockbuster doesn't exist, and I cannot find it anywhere, not online, not anywhere. I mean, I'm sure I could do it illegally, but I'm not that tech savvy. But I don't even know if somebody would put it online. I don't even know if it was worth putting online. But if we can find Monstered, that's my number one movie I want to do.
So this movie Monstered,
Yes,
nonfiction.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember what section it was in.
I feel like that is a true story.
It very well could be.
It's a documentary.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be weirder than Tiger King.
No, it wouldn't be weirder. No,
not at all.
Listen, IMDb does not have anything monster related.
Listen, I'm telling you, it was years ago. I don't know.
I'm looking. I type in monster and I get Monster Dick, Monster Hunter, and Monster. Those are the titles that pop up, but nothing monstered.
So much for the Internet Movie Database,
right?
Yeah, right.
And their credibility.
I know.
Yeah.
Gosh, they
don't know. It was it was a different time. There were different times when Blockbuster was open.
Yeah, it's not there.
Okay,
but I'll find it.
It could just be something I made up, but I feel like it was real. And in my heart, it was a real thing.
A film major snuck that one movie at your Blockbuster, hoping that somebody will watch it one day. Oh nope, I found it. I spelled it wrong.
Okay, did I spell turd wrong? Is it TERD? I don't know the proper
I heard
turd.
you say TURD, and I went with TERD. No, it's TURD, and it's
okay. Okay. All right, there we go. I feel vindicated.
My faith is restored in IMDb.
And and the first guy who is on there, Sheriff Duncan, is played by Paul Weiner, Weiner, close to Wiener, which was really intriguing for a movie called Monstered.
Yes, intriguing and not surprising at all.
Not surprising at all.
See, now everybody's like, oh, that guy that was talking about the shit monster, he lost some credibility, but now I got it back.
Yeah.
I'm upset that this exists.
Did you ever listen to a band called Green Jelly?
That sounds really familiar.
Early 90s. Early 90s.
Super familiar. Yeah. I mean, I guarantee I did just the way, because that's such a weird name and it definitely sounds familiar.
They had a song called Three Little Pigs.
Yes,
I think it was the only thing that got radio airplay.
Absolutely know that. Yep.
On the same album, they got a song called Shit Man. And it's about, you guessed it, a shit man.
A shit man.
Yep.
And it's on the soundtrack.
it's all there. And it's like a satire of the 60s Batman theme.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Shit,
come on, shit, man. Yeah. Great tune. Obviously, I remember it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely remember the Three Little Pigs, but I feel like that was the single that everyone had. And I don't know if the B side of the single was Shit Man. I don't know. But
well, now you investigate and your life will be forever changed.
Yes. I'm going to deep track that on Spotify.
I'm going to go listen to both these songs and then text you guys. You're like, the fuck did I just listen to?
Yeah, you're not going to be happy.
Probably not.
Oh, boy. All right, so we got Monstered in the Room. Those are coming up in the queue. And Thor, let's do it. Let's get into it. So, like we talked about, it's a little melodramatic, but especially at the part in the beginning when he's like, Dad, you're just an old man. You don't know shit, or whatever he said. Right before his dad cast him out of Asgard. But then once he landed on the ground, I feel like it just took off from there. That was great. I was like, at that part, I was like, a little bit lost me. And the part that really got me was Natalie Portman being in the movie, because I did not know she was in the movie.
Oh, really?
And I love Natalie Portman. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of beautiful people in Hollywood. It's Hollywood, obviously. But Natalie Portman is one of those actresses where I'm totally distracted the entire time she's on screen, which is how amazing she is. And I could be biased because she was in the Star Wars and I loved her since I was like 15. But yeah, she's a great actress and awesome.
But she was in the bad Star Wars.
She was in the bad. Yes, she was in the bad Star Wars.
Yeah, like she wasn't even in the good ones. She was in the bad ones with Jar Jar Binks.
But she was a bright spot in the bad Star Wars, just like Darth Maul was the bright spot in the bad Star Wars.
I mean, if we're going to talk about her best role, it was obviously The Professional.
Now you make me sound weird because I feel like she was like 10 then.
She was.
Yeah, she was 13 in that movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like her in that.
Brilliant movie, but I'm so judging you right now, Ben.
Why?
I watched
The Professional when I was like,
her best role though. Yeah.
So
I don't think it was her best role though.
No, she's done so many more. I'm just saying, way better than the Star Wars ones. I think my favorite movie, whether it is Closer, that has Clive Owen and Julia Roberts. That's a drama.
That one is phenomenal.
It's a really good movie.
She was phenomenal there. You know what? I need to retract my statement. When I said I'm judging you right now, that was a joke at your expense that fell really flat. Okay. And I apologize for that, Ben.
It's all
I was just going to the fact that she was severely underage. That was it.
I got that, but I think let me see. When did the Professional come out? Because I think I was about her age when it came out, so I was
early 90s.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Let's see.
But considering she was incredible.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There were some weird vibes in the movie where I was like, this still feels kind of inappropriate. I don't know what's going to happen here, but
so apparently it's based on a book.
Yeah,
of the same title, and in the book, it does get a little bit.
That's what I remember hearing about. Yeah,
weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen her in Your Highness?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of great movies,
I watched that movie and I thought to myself, man, either she just likes James Franco and Danny McBride, or they paid her a crap ton of money to be in this movie, because it is definitely not her caliber of movie.
I can't explain why she was in that movie. I genuinely think she's friends with those people, because
it has to be. Because other than that, I don't understand why she was in that movie. Like,
when did that movie come out?
Her Highness came out after Thor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think maybe 2012 or 13, maybe.
Yeah. 2011.
2011. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember seeing this and thinking to myself, like, how did they get her in this movie? I just don't. I don't understand.
I do think she's friends with them, because I know they did like a rap song. I think it's like James Franco and like those guys, like his crew of guys who are disbanded now, because of all the James Franco stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, they did like a rap, and she had a verse on it, and it was actually like pretty funny and pretty good. And,
I mean, it looks like they had Zoe Deschanel in it too. So yeah, I guess they have some really good actors in this movie.
Yeah, oddly enough.
Yeah. Damian Lewis, Justin Theroux. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they must have had a budget for that.
Yeah, because I mean, anything with Danny McBride in it, I'll watch, because I just love Danny McBride. I think like he does a great job of just making everybody feel awkward, and I don't know if it's just like him or if he's just really good at doing that. Yeah. Like, if it's just his personality. So I usually watch stuff that he's in, because I'm just like, I know he's going to say something that's just going to like make me crack up laughing.
Dude, Eastbound and Down is, I think it's like one of the most underrated shows. That shit is so fucking
love
good.
It. And then the one they're in now, the one where they do like the big religious moguls or whatever, that one's pretty good too.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
It has, I swear, John Goodman's in it as well. The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It has John Goodman, Danny McBride's in it. Let's see here. Adam Devine, or Divine, however you say his name.
Oh, yeah, Workaholics Kid, yeah.
Yeah, Walton Goggins. And basically, like, they're big, like TV church personalities. And they have this huge church and whatnot. And John Goodman's like the main guy. And Danny McBride's, I think, is his oldest son. And he wants to try to take over and like, be the next big guy. It was pretty interesting. I've only watched 2 episodes, but like I knew it was something. I was like, okay, I'll come back and watch this and enjoy it.
What's that shit on, by the way?
HBO or HBO Max.
Oh, okay. All right. So Natalie, what was my next? Oh, so Thor's crew was really cool. Like his crew of guys. Like, do they have a name? Yeah. His band of people. Like, it was Sif and the
Sif is the girl. Volstagg
Sif and the Warriors 3.
Yeah,
Sif and the Warriors 3. Yes.
Yeah. So
they deserve a movie.
Interesting. So Volstagg actually, he's Ray Stevenson. He actually played the Punisher in the remake because their first Punisher was Thomas Jane, and
Yeah.
then there was a Punisher
Warzone.
Warzone, and that's Ray Stevenson.
Okay. All right.
Still not a good Punisher, but still,
Yeah, I know the first one was my Punisher. I like that first one.
yeah,
Yeah. So like that, just like I'm like kind of like a ragtag group, but like they all kind of had different, even looked different kind
yeah.
of personalities and
Uh-huh.
things, and I kind of liked how they all interacted with each other. And
And then
yeah, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, I looked up all the different people because I recognize most of them.
Yeah.
Hogan actually plays Raiden in that awful HBO, Mortal Kombat movie that came out. So we can just ship him to the wayside because that was just terrible.
Yeah. Which I always forget because you tell me, and I'm always surprised every time I hear it because I forget who was the white dude that played the original Raiden.
Christopher Lambert
Christopher.
played the original Raiden. Yeah.
Gavin, did you see the original Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it a couple times when it came out. I got the soundtrack.
Mortal Kombat.
Everyone had
Yeah,
that soundtrack was
that.
good. Yeah.
And I watched it after watching the newest one, and they're both shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But would the original Mortal Kombat fall under the category of like ironically good?
Considering it was 1995, yeah. I guess, but but at the same time, I know I sound like I'm on the fence. At the same time, hard no.
Okay.
Hard no. Yeah.
All right, respect.
But I can honestly say I think the early 90s one is better than the one that we got because at least with the early 90s one, it seemed like they weren't trying as hard. Like the new one seemed like they were trying too hard and still like just missed the mark completely.
Yeah.
I think if the new one came out in 95, it would have been legendary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that we wanted back in the early 90s.
I don't know.
Sure.
I still can't. I cannot unsee Jax with the little metal arms.
His T-Rex arms.
Yeah, I can never unsee that, like ever. He can even push himself up, and I was like, so his magic power is just to get badass arms all of a sudden, like just
his magic power affects cybernetics.
Yeah. Like there's a whole story they already had where like his arms got ripped off, and then the military replaced him with metal arms. Why are we even like trying to do that? And like, I just think as the actor, like I'd have been like, wait, what the fuck? Hold on, can we fix this? This just doesn't seem like.
What was the deal? Not to go backwards. What was the deal with those those little like monk people like in that dirty ass thing doing the surgery on him? Like the whole time I was thinking, this is infection. This is infection waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Disgusting. People waltz into the room while it's happening. Like, oh, what's going on? We're just putting new arms on Jax.
Yeah. Let them do their job. What job?
Who trained these people?
He looks like
we have the material, we have the know-how, we can rebuild him, we can make him faster, stronger.
He looked like an upgraded Johnny Five.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Ben.
He did. Oh my gosh.
Poor fucking Jax. Oh. And I'm so mad that the new guy killed Goro immediately. Like they took their nut and they busted their nut twice. They the first 5 minutes of the movie was like the best part of the whole entire thing. Is that first 5 minutes.
I agree. Yeah.
That first 5 minutes made you go, oh shit, this is what's up. This is they really nailed it. They took their time with it. And then they didn't. And then they're like, here's Goro. He is the one that was kind of the final guy that Johnny Cage kills. We're just gonna roll him out and have this new guy like find his powers in the middle of the fight and just kill him immediately. And it's like, okay, you killed Goro. That's fucking ridiculous.
Can I say a couple of things about that? About Goro in the new one?
Absolutely.
All right. First thing, I think it's a little disrespectful that we're talking about this movie when we're supposed to be talking about Thor. but this is great though. One of my biggest gripes about that whole Goro thing, the new guy aside, when Goro comes out into the real world and the new guy's family sees Goro, there's no shock.
There wasn't.
There's no, yeah. Oh, you know what? Like, if I saw Goro for the first time, I would be shitting my pants.
Yeah.
Children would be crying. What's happening, Mom? What is this thing? You told me about Adam and Eve. Is God a liar? What is this? No, they were totally cool with it. Totally. And I'm like, oh, so you're just gonna fight him?
True.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
to be fair though, I mean, they already just witnessed a guy that was just with his mind freezing everybody. So I mean, at that point, they're kind of like, oh, an 8-foot 4-armed lizard looking guy. Yeah, okay, we're here. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, man. Like, there's something to be said about PTSD that you're just, yeah, okay, you're seeing a guy freeze people and things, but PTSD that has layers to it, you know. So they got to get over Sub-Zero. They've got therapy for Sub-Zero, and now it's like, oh great, you know, we're just starting to make peace with Sub-Zero. Now there's this 4-armed ogre guy.
Yeah.
They're still gotta react to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like he should have too. Now that you bring it up, I feel like I can't even remember his name because it doesn't really matter. The new guy.
No,
and yeah, like everyone he fought and interacted with at that point was some kind of humanoid, you know, like two arms, 2 legs, like they just look like humans do. And then fucking Goro, and what's preparing him for that? There's nothing. He was cage fighting before that. He wasn't fighting
and
6-armed
losing.
giants.
Let's not forget that was his thing. He lost all the time.
Yeah, I didn't want to fight.
All of a sudden, the grand champion Goro. Sorry, Goro. You don't matter.
Exactly.
And then they, like you said at the end, they kind of like, and we can bring everyone back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they left it open ended, like nobody really dies. We can bring them back. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here with this whole fucking thing?
But I'll watch
ironically, the
movie.
whole franchise died at the end of that movie.
Good.
But if a number 2 comes out, I'll be right there watching it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll be talking
Paying
about
for
that
my
shit.
HBO Max.
You know? So going back to Thor, one of the things I want to point out was when Anthony Hopkins growled at Loki. That was an improvised scene. I guess they told him just to kind of improvise stuff. So when like he's trying to like, you know, tell Thor, you're terrible, and then Loki goes, Father, and he goes, that was completely improvised, and the look on Tom Hiddleston's face was actually real because he was shocked, and instead it was kind of hard for him to finish the rest of the scene because he didn't know what was supposed to go on afterwards.
It's like when your dad growls at you, you stop talking. I feel like he knew the assignment, which was shut up.
I don't think my dad or grandfather has ever growled at me, and I don't know what I would have done if that had happened in real life.
Yeah, he had Silence of the Lambs flashbacks is what he had when he did that shit to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to take into effect that it's Anthony Hopkins growling at you. That's a whole different game.
Yeah,
Whole different game.
Because my first note said that Sir Anthony Hopkins is great. I just wanted to put that out there from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I love Anthony.
I love that note.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
No arguments for me on that. That's 3 in agreement on that. I was really glad to see him in the movie because he definitely didn't. He nailed the role, which is not surprising. It's Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote a note when he starts telling the story about the frost giants. I said, I could listen to Anthony Hopkins tell me a story about someone who claimed to have watched paint dry.
And Morgan Freeman. I could listen to Morgan Freeman do the same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll throw Denzel Washington in there too, because I've watched a lot of things of him on YouTube, just like talking, and he's pretty fantastic at just narrating shit.
Yeah, he definitely is.
But, Ben, you've got a great Denzel.
I can only do the okay part. That's pretty much it. That's all I can do is okay. That's it. That's all I got.
That's an Academy Award winner.
I try practicing in my car sometimes. Like I'll look at the notes from training day and I try to trying to to sound like him, like Jake. I'm not good at it. I can only do the okay. And that's it. That's all I got on that.
I know you like to get wet. Okay.
Fucking shoe program.
King Kong got shit on me. Fucking good movie. But Loki was a dick. Can I just say that? Like, I know like Loki's supposed to be mischievous and like cutesy kind of a little bit. They skipped right over that and went to Loki being a fucking psychopath.
Oh yeah. And I knew that from the comic books in general. Like I already knew like he was pretty much a bad guy. But I will say this, throughout the entire like Marvel series, like you see the progression of Loki from being a dick to being a pretty decent human being. And then at the end of actually the Loki series, you're like, damn it, I do like Loki. He's not a bad person.
Oh, they're gonna fuck with me like that because I at the end of just watching this for the first time, getting to the end of it, I left with just like, fuck Loki. Like when they're holding on to him at the end and then they do the melodramatic like, oh no, as he falls away, I was like, good, like let him fall on top of a spike, because I really hated him by the end of the movie.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the Avengers, so you know he didn't die, right?
Well, yeah. But just very unlikable. Sorry, go ahead, Gab.
No, this was your first time seeing it.
Yeah.
What other Marvel movies with Thor and Loki have you seen?
So I saw, out of order, I saw Thor Ragnarok. That was actually, I think that was maybe besides like Iron Man, that was one of the first ones. And I love that shit. That was funny and it was entertaining and everything. And in that, Loki kind of is like, he when he sees his brother at that where Jeff Goldblum's world is, whatever that's called, and Loki kind of sees him there and is like kind of embarrassed and trying to like talk to him and I was like, oh, like he seems kind of like funny and whatever. And then in this, I was like, oh, he's not funny at all. He's a total dick. It's kind of how I felt. And I didn't watch a new Loki series, but I heard is great, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's the progression that you see, because like it's cool, like you see like throughout the entire time, like as much as terrible of a person as Loki is, Thor is always like, that's my brother and I'm going to try to stick with him. And and like in Thor Ragnarok is really great, especially the one line where they're like, when he was like play dead or something like that, and he like picks him up and like throws him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I like that. I'm okay with that.
You got to remember that this podcast is called The Almost Nerds, right?
Yes.
And I thought I was almost a nerd, but the more I think about it, maybe I'm like full on, at least when it comes to Thor. This movie is about two children vying for their father's approval, right? So first of all, you got Anthony Hopkins and you've got Kenneth Branagh directing a film about Norse gods.
Yeah, I like Kenneth Branagh.
Right? And Kareem, are you familiar with Kenneth Branagh?
No, I am not.
He is I think he's best known for his work in Shakespearean productions.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's phenomenal. He's a serious dude, an intense dude. When my brother and I found out that he was going to be directing Thor, we were like, we're there.
Yeah.
The whole cast, the cast was fantastic. I don't think that they cast a single person who didn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And the actors that they got for the roles were great. Even like Child Loki and Child Thor look like Chris Hemsworth and Tim Hiddleston, didn't you think? Like I was surprised how eerily the kids looked like their adult predecessors. I've seen this movie, honestly, it may sound like I've seen it a lot. Maybe this was my third time.
Okay.
And this is the first time I ever took notes. And I recommend watching it again, Kareem, without having to take notes. Just watch it like a movie and see if you can pick up some things, because it was definitely a different movie watching experience for me this time. I picked up on a lot of things where I could see that, like, somebody just on the surface level could see it as melodrama.
Sure.
But holy shit, Tim Hiddleston, he is a treasure, man. That guy is phenomenal.
He is a really good actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Even if you hate, even if I hated him, I can absolutely respect the fact that he made me hate him, because he had to be pretty damn good to make me do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he does a really good job in the rest of the movies of making you kind of like him, and at the same time hate him. Like he's really good, because I'm telling you, this Loki series, I was like, damn it, this was fantastic. This was a really good series.
It was good. Yeah. And you know what else, like, Ben, like, he has you always questioning every movie he's in, every episode in Loki. It's like, can I really trust this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, he has that arcing his entire presence in the universe.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. It's never good or evil. You're always unsure.
Oh,
and that's mischievous.
I like everything you said, and I agree with it. And I absolutely will watch it again, because I did enjoy it more than I thought. The only thing was, one of my notes was Darcy Lewis, useless character.
I think I only liked her for the fact that she had my last name. I don't even know if it's spelled correctly, but other than that,
I couldn't really understand why she was in the movie. Everybody else I get, but not Darcy.
Comic relief, I guess, for the serious scientists.
Sure, yeah, that could be it too.
And then have either of you seen WandaVision?
Oh, of course, yes.
I've seen the first like 2 episodes. I didn't finish it though.
So she reprises her role.
Oh, okay.
In WandaVision. So it's actually, I thought they did that pretty well.
Okay.
But they needed somebody with a lot of tasers, I think, for Thor.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered from Darcy there. She was comic relief and tasers.
Yeah, and I mean, as an actress, I like her. I've seen her in other things. She's a good actress. I couldn't quite put it together.
My only problem, like, with her is not that like some of the things she would say, it's like, I don't, like, you just don't look like you would say those things. Like this kind of like, for instance, there is a movie where Tara Reid plays a physicist. And I'm like, you're not going to ever make me believe that Tara Reid is a physicist. And I feel that way about Kat Dennings. Like, I think she's a great actress, but like some of the things that she was saying, like, it's like, I just don't believe that she would like be a doctor of anything. Like Natalie Portman, she looks like she could be a doctor or something. I think she actually does have her PhD in something.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I wrote a note about Natalie Portman. I would like to share with you both.
Please
watch what you say.
Okay. To my beloved Natalie Portman, if I had to choose a cuckold to steal Natalie Portman from me, and it was between Chris Hemsworth and Hayden Christensen, it would be Chris Hemsworth all day, every day. And I would insist upon it, in fact. And I would ask to participate. And if I was not allowed, if Chris Hemsworth or Natalie Portman said, no, Gavin, you can't participate, you can't even be in the room, I would humbly respond, I understand.
Agreed. Agreed.
He's like, I will give them a high five afterwards. Just ask how was it?
Yep. Nope. Absolutely.
If they allow it. Otherwise, I know my place.
Yes.
And I would be absolutely okay with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It goes back to the Hollywood beautiful people, man. I mean, Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, I feel like that's a good dynamic right there. That is just top of the top right there.
I felt with Hayden Christensen, she was punching down.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like every time I watched those, I was like, really? Him? Like,
yeah.
Him?
Yeah. He's so unlikable.
Yeah. Like you have the random Ewan McGregor who, for some reason, those two are the only ones that have British accents in the entire empire in the Star Wars universe. Why are we not picking those guys? Like Qui-Gon Jinn.
And speaking of people who can't deliver lines, like Hayden Christensen through that whole thing. Oh my God.
Even the children.
And dude, what? And he always sounded like he was like a surfer that smoked a joint. And he's what is your bidding, master? What do you want me to do to these dudes? Like,
if your gripe is melodrama, Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm so mad.
I
killed them all. Yeah, that's right. From my point of view, you're the evil one.
Yeah.
What? Who says that?
Yeah.
He tried.
And we still haven't even scratched Star Wars yet. I mean, I don't even know when we're gonna get to it, but a lot's gonna come out. I think I have to work through some things in therapy before we get to that. But
remember PTSD was mentioned earlier.
Yes.
This is your therapy, you guys. You'll have that opportunity.
Yeah. I'm gonna need it. So Thor, when Thor was drinking with the scientist, I can't think, when he went out drinking to the bar, drinking Boilermakers. I thought that was pretty awesome that even though he lost all of his powers, he could still drink like a fucking champion. Like he just
like 6'4".
Yeah, just a monster.
Muscle. Like I think it's gonna take a lot for him to get drunk either way.
That's true. Yeah. He just brought that dude in, like threw him on the bed. I was like, all right, Thor, I like it. And that was the thing. It was like somebody said it wasn't as funny because I saw Ragnarok first, and that was a funny movie. That movie had me laughing kind of throughout the whole thing. So besides that beginning, like I said, that kind of was like, oh, I see maybe where they said it was a little melodramatic, like just Thor being Thor, and then the way he interacted with like Natalie Portman and like his formality, kind of old world fashion formality with how he interacted with everybody. I thought it was hysterical. Like that bar scene I thought was funny. The way he talked to Natalie was funny. I really like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
I like that you mentioned that because I thought that the humor in it was charming. Like that's my word for it. It wasn't heavy-handed. It wasn't too much.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially when I mean, the humor happens when Thor is on Earth now. Yeah. And these human things are a match for him. They're defeating him. Like the sedative, getting hit by a car. I mean, just these silly things that humans can do to a god, to a thunder god. Like I loved that. I loved that. And oh man, that's the thing is that Thor, I think, got progressively through the movies. He got progressively more, I don't know, slapsticky kind of. Yeah,
I agree. Especially considering things. Yeah, especially considering like in the comics, like Thor is like just straight like I'm here to fight.
He's serious.
Yeah, he's super serious in the comics. Is to the point where, like, in the first Civil War, at one point they tried to make a clone of Thor, and actually it killed Goliath, and that's what basically caused the whole the superheroes starting to fight against each other because that's how big of a presence Thor was, and if Thor was there, whatever side Thor was going to be on, that side was going to win. So they cloned Thor, and then that clone killed the Goliath, shot a hole through his chest, and then from there just fought on the whole thing. It's a pretty good read.
Yeah, I was one of the things I liked about this movie too was it just kind of showed you how badass Thor was, because we were going through Iron Man. And all those guys, Captain America, kind of that kind of all those guys, they're mortal, you know what I mean? So it's you can kind of see how they can get smacked around a little bit, or they have their weaknesses and everything. And I mean, God, when Thor was Thor, holy shit! Like when he went to the Frost Giants and stuff like that. Then and they kind of was beating everybody up. Everybody retreated. He's still beating everybody up. Then he leaves, and then later, I think it was Loki that was you could have just he could have killed everybody if he
Yeah.
wanted to. He could have just stayed there and just absolutely annihilated that whole race of people. And I was like, God damn it, Thor's pretty badass. So it really made me like that part of him. Just that that's a superhero right there.
Yeah.
Is Thor.
Can I show you guys something else to solidify my nerdhood here?
Yes.
Show me the thing you sent me in the picture earlier.
I sent this to Ben. I have a bootleg copy of the 1966 Thor cartoon series.
Holy shit.
Where they actually filmed panels from the comic book and added minor animation to it. This thing, I grew up on this. I was watching this when I was 3. That's how I got into Marvel Comics. So they've got Thor, they have Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Submariner.
Nice.
And these things were so good, probably in the most ironic way, but kind of like what you guys mentioned about Star Wars, like you have to see them when you're a kid to really appreciate this nostalgia element that you just can't recreate these days if you're seeing it for the first time. So if you have adult friends who are seeing episode 4 through 6 for the first time, it's not going to be the same as if they saw it when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Thor was not the same Thor that he is in the current comics. I thought that the movie adaptation did what the current comics did really well. But this character revolved more around his love affair with Jane Foster and the turmoil to defy Odin, to travel down to Earth to see his human mortal girlfriend, who his father Odin forbade him to see. That's I thought that was quite a cool dynamic. So I'm glad that they didn't really get away from that.
Yeah.
But Loki even came a long way. Like Loki is this evil, sinister guy in today's comics, but back in 1966, he was turning automobiles into ice cream. That's what he was doing.
More mischievous.
More mischievous, a little fun.
Yeah.
Wasn't really stabbing people in the back.
No.
Literally.
Yeah.
Just turning cars into ice cream.
That sounds all right.
That's where we are.
I love that you're like so deep into it. I love that, Chip, because if you listen to us and you're like, man, these guys don't know what we're talking. We don't know what we're talking. So it's nice to have an actual nerd that's in this movie and knows this shit inside and out to kind of come in and give us a little bit of credibility. So it's much appreciated.
I appreciate you guys having me. Like I was surprised Ben asked me to do this one. Like I'm a big Thor nerd.
I did not know that. I just wanted you to be on here because, Gavin, that I just enjoy having conversation with you in general. So I was like, got to bring Gavin on here.
Hell yeah.
So a funny part is, so you're talking about the 1966 Thor. The first actual, I guess not interaction, but the first thing I saw of Thor actually was in the old Incredible Hulk movies, the Incredible Hulk Returns, where he is in the movie with Hulk. And interesting enough, I just realized, because I'm pretty positive that in this most recent Thor movie, the other doctor, when he was going to get him from S.H.I.E.L.D., said his name was Donald Blake.
Yes.
And that's the name of the Thor from that Hulk Returns movie. Because in this movie, this guy has a hammer and turns into Thor. And his name was Donald Blake. And I remember being interested in that. And then actually, once I started getting comic books, I was like, oh, that was just made up for the movies. Because Thor doesn't have an alter ego like Bruce Banner. Thor is just Thor. But in that movie, they made him Donald Blake. And he has a hammer. And then he turns into Thor.
So, Ben, check this out. In the early comics, so Dr. Don Blake was Thor's secret identity.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So like they called back to that in this film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And actually another cool dynamic about the old original Thors was that Don Blake was handicapped and he would carry a cane. He'd walk around with a cane.
Huh.
But he would slam this cane on the ground and it would transform him into Thor.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
So like he had the cane, was that like somehow signifying like the hammer or something like that? Like that's
Yes,
immortal me with the cane, and then the Thor has the hammer kind of deal.
exactly.
Okay.
And I love that poetic irony that you have somebody with a real bum leg, you know, he's puny, he's a puny human, but at the same time he's an immortal god, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty deep, pretty deep.
So my question is this: for that one, was the power of Thor making him sick? Because I know, like in the more recent ones, especially I think we're gonna touch it in Thor: Love and Thunder. Uh, Jane Foster becomes Thor, but it's killing her at the same time.
See, I don't know anything about the Love and Thunder arc.
Oh, so in the comics,
so that's going to be new to me. Yeah.
Yes. So there was a time where Marvel, well, I guess they were kind of say like Marvel Comics wasn't diverse, and all of a sudden, like that's when we got the Miles Morales Spider-Man, and we got the there was a Peter Parker, but it was actually with Norman Osborn's brain, and that was a pretty interesting. That was pretty. No, actually, it was Otto Octavius. Was like Peter Parker's like brain. So like it's Peter Parker's body and he's Spider-Man, but it's Otto Octavius's like consciousness, and so he's kind of like a. It was actually they said it was probably the best Spider-Man ever because of like the decision making was more like towards the like just kind of the evil side, but not. But that's when they also had Jane Foster become Thor, and I guess there was another kid, what's his name? Is Ang Lee? He's supposed to be like the second. Oh no, Amadeus Cho. He became the Incredible Hulk. Like they kind of like, but he was Asian, so they kind of like made like showed diversity. And so Jane Foster being Thor, she was Thor, but she also like it was giving her cancer, so it's like it's killing her at the same time. It's pretty interesting.
Was this like the multiverse? Is this part of the multiverse, or is this just the continue?
I think it's the multiverse. Yeah. Whatever. I guess. I guess it's in the same one because Miles Morales is Spider-Man's in the same universe as Peter Parker Spider-Man. So it's in that same universe, but they just randomly decided to try to make it more diverse and made like a lot of the main characters like different cultural backgrounds. But they still had like the Bruce Banner Hulk, but then Amadeus Cho became the Hulk, and then Thor. I don't know if Thor was dead or what happened with Thor, but then Jane Foster got the powers, and I think that's what's supposed to happen in Thor: Love and Thunder. Is that Natalie Portman's supposed to be Thor? So I wonder if they're going to cover that.
See the '60s Thor. If he did not have his hammer in his hand for more than 60 seconds, he would turn back into Don Blake.
Interesting.
That was a thing. Yeah, so that always kept the stakes high that he has to have his hammer in his hand at all times.
This Thor's just throwing that bad boy around, and he could pow, pow, pow,
this
pow,
Thor's
pow, pow, pow.
This Thor's Thor 24/7.
Yeah,
that's who he is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's his name? Who was this Heimdall, right? Am I saying that right? Heimdall,
Yeah.
the guy who was the gatekeeper, kind of. Yeah. So I tried to tell Ben, I was like, Idris Elba. I was like, I don't think he did anything. The first time I saw him was The Office. I was incredibly wrong about that. I throw a lot of crap facts out there, but his character was so great. Like I wanted to see him like unleash. That was like I wanted to see him just tearing some people up, whether it's frost giants or something like that. Like, but he didn't really do too much. But I think
you see it in the third Thor movie.
Okay.
I think it's the third Thor movie. It might be the second. I remember though because Idris Elba, he actually was frustrated that he was kind of like contractually like had to stay in that movie for the three movies. Like he didn't like it, especially in fact like because he considers himself like a really serious actor. So one of his quotes is something like he just filmed being Nelson Mandela, and then he's got to go back to this Marvel movie, this comic book thing. And I was like, dude, I mean, I guess if you played Nelson Mandela, yeah, these Marvel movies aren't shit. Like I get it. I guess I get it, but like I'm sure these Marvel movies, for you only being in it for like 20 minutes, probably paid you a shit ton of money still.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's in the Suicide Squad.
Right.
So,
yep.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Is your friend losing his mind right now that you said that? He's like, what do you mean? Suicide Squad's better than Nelson Mandela. What are you talking about?
Right now, he's like, finally, they're talking about something I can relate to.
Yeah. definitely. If we watch Man of Steel or something like that, we got to bring Tony in because he'll tell you all the stuff Superman related.
Oh yeah, he'd be great for that for
And
sure.
then we'll shit on him and tell him that Superman's awful, even though I'm wearing a Superman shirt and Superman's my favorite hero. Like, but yeah. So I think it's the second or third movie. Like you see Heimdall actually like be a bigger character and like kind of snap and actually fight for a little bit. So
okay, because if it was Ragnarok, I don't remember that at all. But
no, it was it was the second movie then.
Okay,
when,
all right. But you could be right. I haven't seen Ragnarok in a while, so I might have whooped some ass in that. I don't remember.
Have you both seen Dark World?
Yes, I think that one's my least favorite Thor.
That's the second Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I haven't seen that one yet. No.
I've seen it twice. I can't remember anything about it.
Yeah.
I can't remember ever seeing it, but I know I've seen it twice.
Like I feel like the only reason the second Thor movie happened was just to introduce the Aether Stone, and that's pretty much the reality. Was it the Reality Stone, right? Was that the one? Yeah, I think it was the Reality Stone.
You tell me, because when I watch it for the third time, which will probably happen, it'll be like watching it for the first time, you know?
Yeah. Whatever she has inside of her they call it the Aether. I think it's the Reality Stone. Because it's the red stone. I forget which one each one is, but I think the red one is the Reality Stone.
That's a shame, because if it was just to introduce the stone, they could have definitely saved that for the extra scene after the credits, right?
Yeah, I mean, because other than that, the movie's only so. That's what I mean by it. Like the movie,
it's forgettable.
Yeah, it was only decent.
Case in point.
Yeah, because I'd say my favorite is Thor Ragnarok, then I'd go Thor 1, then Thor 2. That'd be the order of which I'd like them. I might throw your animated one in before Thor 2, but I haven't seen the animated one yet, but I'm sure pretty positive it's better than Thor 2.
Which brings up the point, what if Thor 2 is so crappy, which I'm fine. What are we doing next? So we're at Thor. Where do we jump to next? As the next movie? I don't know.
We've mentioned so many movies in this sitting. We mentioned
Monstered,
The Room, Batman versus Superman, the extended cut, Thor 2.
I think you have to do Thor Dark World at some point. That would be an entertaining show to hear you guys do. I'm sure.
Okay. And not DC, because DC sucks is
Watch
what I'm getting from all the. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Comic book wise, DC is like way better than Marvel, but they just can't do anything with the movies to save their lives. Like they're awful. And you said that the DC shows were good. They started off good, but now like the Flash in like it's the 7th or 8th season, and like I just don't know how many times Barry Allen's got to be like, I got to get faster. Like there's got to be something else that they can do in this TV show that besides him having to get faster every single time. Like that's pretty much what happens.
He needs to take speed.
Something. I don't know what.
Amphetamines. That's the key. I got to get faster, dude. Amphetamines. Adderall.
Every time he runs into somebody from the future that's faster than him, and he's got to get faster in order to save whatever. And it's just like, there's so many other characters that you could fight that are bad guys and villains. But in all honesty, in the comic books, the Flash is probably the most overpowered superhero that you can think of. Like a lot of people say Superman, but the Flash is so fast in the comic books. At one point in time, he raced these beings from, they said, the edge of the universe back to Earth. And these beings could instantly transport, and the Flash still beat them. Like, do you know how fast you have to be able to run from one end to the other? And these guys can just instantly be in the same spot, and you still beat them. It's just insane.
You think when they created the Flash, they're like, it's a cool concept, but you think this character's got legs? Thank you.
Gavin Bloom, everybody. Gavin Bloom.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Like how long can we keep this going? That it's all about the speed, and he's got to get faster, and we'll have him race somebody again. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Dude, they give him so many powers. At one point in the comic books, airplane is crashing. He manages to run off of a bridge fast enough to land onto the airplane, phase himself through the airplane because he knows how to manipulate his molecules to be able to phase through stuff. Put both hands on chairs in the airplane and phase not only himself, but the chairs and everybody on this plane through a fucking bridge and land in the water safely. Like, there's no reason anybody like that should be able to exist in any universe at all whatsoever.
I bet he wasn't even thanked, was he?
He probably
Thankless
wasn't,
job.
right?
No.
Like,
That sounds amazing.
typical
No.
Flash.
I
Typical
had no
Flash.
idea Flash was that badass.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's insane what the Flash does. Like, there's a whole story arc on the fact that the Flash runs back in time, saves his mom, and then fucks up everything for the entire DC universe.
That's kind of cool, though, right?
Yeah,
That's kind of a cool idea.
yeah, but he basically fucks up it for everybody to the point where, like, people who were friends don't know each other no more, and all types of things. There's a completely different Superman who got captured when he landed on Earth. He never even met Martha and Clark Kent. Let's see, Bruce Wayne actually dies, and it's Thomas Wayne is the Batman. They're like a whole, and this is all because the Flash saves his
Flashpoint
mom.
paradox.
Yep,
Right.
Yeah. This is all because the Flash saves his mom, and that's the only, like, that's how powerful this dude is. Like, you save one person who's supposed to be dead in your life, and fucks up everything else for everybody's history.
They jumped the shark, and that's
Yeah.
why DC sucked ever since.
You watch your mouth. DC's amazing.
I would just like to say for Tony, who's listening, and he knows where I live. I didn't sign on for a DC bashing conversation.
It's just the guy from across the country talking shit because I know I don't live there. You know,
he's safe. He's safe. Yeah. Tony looks like Ray Liotta from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he's just as vicious.
All
I'm just gonna say.
I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna ever visit Phoenix or Gilbert.
Yeah, you'll meet Tony. And
What
be
am I
like,
doing?
Never mind. No, he's not.
No. He's a soft little teddy bear.
He's the nicest guy. All you do is go on Instagram and see pictures of him and his dog and be like, "This is who I'm afraid of."
Yeah.
But his dog is cute.
But badmouth Superman, and it's a totally different story. You're taking your life into your own hands
Yeah,
at
that's
that
No,
point.
no,
That's
not
very
Superman. You got respect. You got to respect Superman, no matter where he is. You got to respect that. Whatever
Flash,
universe
though.
that is.
I'm not going to say anything else. He's not even my favorite DC character anyway. It's Green Lantern. There you go. So
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
Over Batman?
I fucking hate Batman. I can't.
Whoa.
I
Whoa,
can't
whoa,
stand
whoa,
Batman.
whoa.
And it's not because of Batman. It's because all the people who are like, if you give Batman prep time, bro, he's beating everybody. It's like, why would I give him prep time? Like, I'm Superman. I can literally fly faster than the speed of light. Why am I going to give him time to figure out how to kill me? I would just shoot him with my laser eyes from a distance and call it a day.
Yeah, and Flash can move so fast he can go back in time.
Yeah.
So give him all the prep time. He'll just go back in time.
What
Done.
do you like about Green Lantern?
It depends. The Hal Jordan Green Lantern's decent. There's another Green Lantern. His name is Kyle Rayner, and what I like about his Green Lantern is that
Carl Reiner?
No, not Carl Rayner. Kyle Rayner. But his Green Lantern, he actually figures out how to basically touch all the other spectrums of the lantern. So he masters the yellow and all. There's like 5 other colors, and he masters them all. And at one point, he becomes so OP. Like, there's a white lantern, and it's like all the colors mixed together, and like that's basically what he becomes. And he's like super powerful at that point, but he can only hold the power for so long. But it was a pretty interesting read. But basically, like, your power is your thought. Like, you cannot, like, I don't pretty much whatever my thought is and willpower behind it, I can make it. Pretty cool.
So where do we go? Where are we going? That's my question. Where are we going? Where do we go from here?
I don't know. That's an excellent question. Gavin, thoughts?
I mean, do we just do the Dark World? Or bite the bullet and go there?
Yeah,
I think you should.
I think
And
that's
that's just me. I
Yeah,
think you guys should. Yeah.
we can definitely do that because Ragnarok's going to be an easy one. That's a great one.
I know.
So
But we haven't done these DC movies. We should do Man of Steel
okay.
or the Christian Bale Batmans. One of those are good too.
You should do the Adam West Batman movie.
That dude had shark repellent. Okay, I can't tell you enough how pissed off I was as a kid that was a thing that happened. I was so frustrated.
You can do it. And the perfect marriage for just having seen Jaws. You can do this.
True. It's true.
The only thing that made that better is if he sprayed him and told him, "Smile, you son of a bitch." That would have made shark repellent so great.
So let's do Dark World. Let's do it.
Sounds good to me.
We'll fucking do Dark World. Let me write it down. Dark World. And then Luther, which is you saw that little note there. That's just Idris Elba. I like him now. Ever since The Office, I've always liked Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, he's good in a lot of things.
No, he's great in everything I've seen him in. And I didn't pick up that it was him at first. The first couple times Heimdall came on because I don't know, the eyes or whatever, something just threw me off. I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
it's Elba. He's a badass dude. He's a big guy. It's the thing. That's why I want to see him just tearing shit up as the gatekeeper there. So what's the sign off going to be this time?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like really good catchphrase from the Thor movie that I could think of besides the meow meow. But I mean, I don't know how you sign off with meow meow.
Meow meow. That was a great line.
Yeah.
Speaking of Darcy, like that was her memorable scene.
All right.
That could have been her only scene. I think we've been okay with Darcy in that
movie. for Darcy. This is my bad, Darcy. I talk mad shit. But meow meow, Darcy.
Well, then I guess that's what it is then.
Yep.
Meow meow, Darcy.
Meow meow. Gavin, thank
meow,
you
meow,
for coming
Darcy.
on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, all right, guys. We'll see you next time with Dark World.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.